It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This podcast is brought to you by Paper, Tutors for All. When students struggle at school, finding a tutor can make a real difference. But tutors are expensive and most families can't afford one. What if that changed? What if tutoring was affordable? What if it was free? What if it was available 24/7 in multiple languages? Now it is. With Paper, schools can offer every single student free 24/7 access to tutoring. Visit paper.co to find out if your child has access to Paper today.
Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician. The HA Society is taking clients. Coach Ashley and I work one-on-one with HAers, as we call you, to help you figure out a plan and, of course, implement it and stay accountable. Whether you've worked with a health practitioner already and you just want to stay accountable and strategic with the plan that they've laid out for you, or you want to start from scratch looking at all the aspects of your recovery needs and to create a game plan to reach those needs, then we are definitely your girls. When you sign up to work one-on-one with one of us, we're going to go over your history, your biggest obstacles, ensure that we're taking into account your specific goals, and start making a plan to reach them. So those goals could be getting your period back, could be getting pregnant, could be getting back to exercise or sport, or simply working on your mindset around your body image and long-term recovery. We also can teach you the fertility awareness method. So if you want to learn that so that you have the skills you need to go out into the world on your own without fear of getting HA again, we have got your back. So our coaching packages are either weekly or bi-weekly and only a month at a time commitment. So you're not paying tons and tons of money for 5-6 months. It's month to month, which is awesome. Makes perfect sense for period recovery, right? So to learn about other women's experiences working with us and to apply for a coaching spot, plus ask any questions that you might have before getting started, just go to thehasociety.com/coaching. Hello, ladies. I'm dropping on in here to record a bonus episode. I haven't done one in a little bit. Life has been crazy. Having a kid is wild depending on the month, for sure. And so that has just been taking up a lot of my time. Plus, whoop, that's a message from daycare right now saying you need to come here and drop off more milk because we don't have enough. Like, dude, it's not that I don't make enough breast milk. It's that it's unreasonable that I should have to, or that my body should have to, or that I should expect my body to create a full day's worth of milk in advance. At one point, she just upped how much she was eating, and my milk supply increased a little bit, but only enough, to the perfect amount if she was home with me at all times. But she's not. She goes to daycare. Hallelujah. I love daycare. I drop that chick off and I dance home. But I don't make enough milk. So halfway through the day, I'm really lucky that I live in walking distance to daycare. So halfway through the day, I have to drop it off. And I did go through a stage. It's so funny this is happening. This is not how I was going to start this episode, but it works. I went through a stage where I was like, oh, why can't I make enough? You know, other women make so much milk. They have a freezer full of it. And I don't make enough. And my husband's so wise. He was like, well, actually, you make exactly the amount that you need to make. You know, your body is doing a good job, and it is kind of unreasonable that you should have to make a full day in advance, you know, but that is the choice that we made by doing daycare. So it's okay. And that gave me so much space and freedom. So now I don't have any feelings about it. I have very few feelings about like being a good mum versus not, or whatever. You know, I know that's a common thing that women struggle with, but I just don't. You know, we don't have a lot of support here by family. I need to use daycare. I'm not an extremely maternal person, and I don't feel bad about it. And in fact, stepping into who I am and doing what I do best is what makes me a good mum, because I'm not, you know, driving myself into the ground trying to be this woman that like the books and the attachment parenting community and yada yada think I need to be. And this it's funny because this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about, which was holding on to things, expectations that you have for yourself, and you might not even know that you're holding on to them, right? So, you know, like me, I didn't realize that I was holding on to this expectation that I should be able to do more than is reasonable for my body. And I see this all of the time. Women are holding on to this expectation very early on in recovery, super common. I did it too. They're holding on to this expectation that they can recover without having to gain all the weight. Random examples. I had a message yesterday from a member of the society, and she was like, I've gained 10, you know, when we last spoke in November, we did a consult. She was like, I've gained 10 pounds since November. It's currently March. 10 pounds ain't that much, you know, but she has this very clear, strong belief that 10 pounds is, you know, an insidious amount of weight that should absolutely be sufficient. You know, and it's like, well, have you checked in with yourself on why you think that's the number? Because I'm pretty sure that that's the number because that's just the number that you feel uncomfortable surpassing. That is the number that is a threshold or challenge for you. You need to kind of look at that and be like, well, what is it about 10 pounds that is a big deal to me? And it's really quite arbitrary, right? You know, another thing that people could be holding on to is just this idea that, you know, I am doing just the same amount of, you know, life activity as my next door neighbor, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. I need to make a certain amount of money. I need to live a certain lifestyle. I need to look a certain way. I need to have a certain amount of career success or, you know, whatever it is for you. And these are things that can actually impact our recovery, right? These are micro stresses. These are things that we hold on to that they guide our decisions through the day, right? When your goal is to make a certain amount of money, you're more likely to make a decision that makes you work more or overwork. When you're holding on to looking a certain way, you're more likely to make decisions that cause you to undereat versus eat sufficiently, or to exercise versus rest. This is why it's really important to not just, you know, we talk a lot about, oh, what's your why for recovery, right? But we also need to check in with these biases, these things that we're holding on to, these beliefs. And we really can't step into our why until we've at a minimum identified that we have these beliefs and that they're driving our decisions. Because these things that we're holding on to, kind of brainwash us in a way. We don't even notice that they're pulling us in a direction to make decisions that aren't particularly helpful. What if you're an athlete and you feel that you should absolutely be able to recover training because you're an athlete, right? And you're holding on to the idea that you can. And there are people who do. But, how tightly are you holding on to this? You guys know me. I'm all about giving it a red hot go. I will sit there with you and figure out, what's our plan so that you can continue training, but how do we adjust it to help with recovery? But we can't do that if we're also not willing to say, and what do we do when it doesn't work? And when do we assess if it's working or not? Right? So if you go down a path like that, say it's, I want to keep doing this stressful job and trying to get my period back. I want to hold on to not gaining weight and try to get my period back. I want to hold on to training and still try and get my period back. Whatever it is, like, what are you trying to hold on to? And, check yourself. Is it reasonable? Is it measurable? Are you going to be able to objectively look at yourself and say, okay, this isn't working? And are you able to at least begin the process of looking at all of the things you're holding on to that might be holding you back from recovery and saying, oh, maybe this is unreasonable. Most of the time when we're struggling, okay, so if I have someone in this society or a client or even just someone like on Instagram message me and say, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm trying to get my period back. I've done XYZ. I don't know why this isn't working. I'll ask them, well, what do you think it is? And they'll say, oh, well, maybe it's because I'm still, doing this behavior or whatever. And, it's typically like your intuition is right. And the issue isn't, oh, what I'm doing isn't working. The issue is, hey, I can't let go of, XYZ behavior or pattern. Okay, maybe I'm still working out three times a week and doing Pilates 2 times a week. And so, like, it could be that, but it just doesn't feel like it is that. Okay, cool. I get it. I get how it can, that can be so much less exercise for you that it feels like that can't be the thing. So now let's acknowledge that you have that belief and let's consider, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable to say that just because you've gone down from 4 or 5 days a week to 3 days a week of exercise that this shouldn't be a part of the issue anymore? We need to be always investigating, and it tends to be investigating our own behaviors and belief system. So that's what I wanted to kind of bring to the table today, was ponder, what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to recovering and not changing certain aspects of your life? Because I know it can sound unreasonable that you should have to change your life just to have a menstrual cycle. But what's actually unreasonable is the expectations and pressure that is put on us in this world. That is what's actually unreasonable. And we're just so conditioned to think that everyone else is thriving and everyone else is able to handle this. No, that is not true. Look around. There is an obesity epidemic in this world, right? There is people, doing drugs, and women who have eating disorders, and there is an issue in the workforce with people working way too much, and there is an issue with people having poor sleep due to an array of issues such as stress or just poor sleep hygiene. All of these are real, and if we are just going to sit around and say, well, no, that's just how life is, versus looking at it and saying, I think something needs to change about the expectations that we have on our life. I just think we need to look at it in a different way. My husband is yelling at me from downstairs. He needs something, obviously. So I hope that this is just encouragement today to say, hey, what am I holding on to that might be not a belief that's serving me? That's all I want you to look at. Because there's every chance that you're holding on to something purely because you want to see if you can, right? I just want to see if it's possible. I want to see if I can recover and do this. Is that really reasonable? Is that really that great a reason? I mean, you do you, but be willing to put a time limit and measurements on it and be open to the idea that it won't. And, if you were a good scientist, you would also be neutral about the result. If it doesn't work for you, if you can't work full time and exercise a whole bunch and undereat and yada yada, if you can't do it all and have a perfect cycle, be open to that being true and saying, oh, okay, so what should I do instead? Rather than holding on to whatever bizarre truth it is that you've decided in your head is the best way to live. Because it's not the best way to live if you're unhappy with your situation, if you're unhappy with your health, if this is not working for you, if whatever it is that has gotten you into the situation of HA is not working for you, it's time to make a change. Okay. I hope you all have a really good week. I'm going to go and get ready, traveling to California this weekend. So I will speak to all of you guys next week, and I hope that you have a really great day. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women.
Don't sleep on the newest innovations in wellness, or maybe do. Introducing Force Factor's Somnipure. Only at the Vitamin Shoppe, the new Somnipure line of drug-free sleep aids includes a muscle recovery formula to help you relieve sore muscles and improve sleep quality. Plus, for the first time ever at the Vitamin Shoppe, an easy-to-drink, fast-acting liquid solution with melatonin and natural botanicals to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed. Sleep stronger with Somnipure at vitaminshoppe.com or the Vitamin Shoppe store near you.
This podcast is brought to you by Paper, Tutors for All. When students struggle at school, finding a tutor can make a real difference. But tutors are expensive and most families can't afford one. What if that changed? What if tutoring was affordable? What if it was free? What if it was available 24/7 in multiple languages? Now it is. With Paper, schools can offer every single student free 24/7 access to tutoring. Visit paper.co to find out if your child has access to Paper today.